Hi folks, and welcome to my brand new series. In this video I'm going to play base Dominion, and I'll do my best to explain a strategy. I will assume that you know what base Dominion cards do, but if you don't you can quickly learn them at wiki.dominionstrategy.com, and I'll leave this link below the video. So let's get started, and I hope you'll find this helpful. Okay, let's look at this board. Here we have a nasty attack in the face of witch, a nasty attack in the face of militia, but we also have the way to trash down with sentry and the way to draw with laboratories. There is no village on this board, but we have a throne room, and that will do pretty well. So we open here with militia and silver and try to get sentry as fast as possible. Because early trashing is going to be very important, and the earlier you get sentry the better it is, because later when you going to add more cards in your deck which you don't want to trash, sentry is going to be less effective in terms of trashing. So to trash these estates and coppers faster, you need to get sentry as soon as possible. That's why getting a 5-2 on the sentry board is usually really important, really well. So here we have 5 in hand, which is really nice, and can get to the sentry. My militia missed the shuffle, unfortunately, but it's okay. Now on 3, I don't want another silver. I'm okay with the economy I have now, because I have silver and militia for economy already. That's more than enough for the beginning part of the game. So I'd rather have a Harbinger. Harbinger will potentially allow me to play my sentry or my militia twice per shuffle, which is really strong. Confirm. Now play the militia. So I would say now sentry should be good. Now, the next goal is to start cursing my opponent. For that, I'm going to be needing witch, and preferably some throne rooms. Let's start with witch though. I already have one terminal in this deck, so it can lead to adding another terminal. Could lead to terminal collision, but that's not a big deal if it happens. And my next goal is to be adding some throne rooms to this deck. Okay, so that's what I was talking about. Sentry now reveals 2 cards, one of which I don't want to trash, so it's less effective in terms of trashing. Okay, we're going to play the witch here. And unfortunately I don't have all that much economy in this hand, because I didn't find my silver or coppers or play the militia. I think it's worth it to get a Moat, because it might save me a couple of curses incoming. Here I'm going to take a throne room. So now, if my opponent is going to attack me, I will be able to defend with a Moat. So, obviously, I hope that he attacks me now. Yep, and he can even throne his witch. And that's really nice that I was able to skip those curses. now I know that we have a witch in those 3 cards. So what I could do, I could just put the throne room on top, and so for the next turn I'll have throne room and witch in one hand, which is going to be really strong. But I think I'd rather attack him here with militia, and then I'll be able to buy another Harbinger, and also I might still trash a copper. Yeah, that's really nice. Okay. So my opponent here, he's got himself a mine. Okay, he just also cursed me 2 times, which is very good for him. But mine is not a good card on this board, because you want to do other things. Okay, so that's I don't want to trash any of those, but I want to discard my throne because I'm going to play the witch and leave the silver be. Okay, now let's get another throne. Gets another moat. Okay, I'll put the sentry on top. And another one. Let's don't really want this throne room in this hand, so let's discard it. Okay, nice. I was able to trash 2 curses. Let's discard that. 2 bad cards in my turn, but that's really nice. Okay, time for another Harbinger. Okay. Alright. So here I can draw on the witch. Unfortunately, my opponent has a Moat in hand. And I should have discarded my Moat here. But it's not a terrible issue. Okay. Now here I'll take a laboratory, because I need to start drawing more cards. Okay, not the greatest turn for my opponent here. I'll be throwing in the sentry gain. Okay, trash 2 coppers, really nice. And hope this time he doesn't have a Moat in hand. Yes, very nice. Okay, so that's all my deck, and I have it in hand, which is really nice. So now I'll add another throne room. It might be a time for some kind of economy, but I think I can wait with that. Also, I can throne room my militia, and that will give me 6 coins, which is enough for everything I might want at this stage of the game. Actually, Poacher might be quite fine to get here, because curses will be gone soon. So Poacher will discard 1 card, and this would really help my sentries to find the junk to trash. Okay, let's hope that let's hope for more Moat, and that worked. Nice, I can trash the curse. And here I can throne room my militia, so I now have 6 coins, which is enough for everything. Now it's time to think, what do I actually want? I would say it should be a Poacher, because that's a tiny bit of extra economy which doesn't cloak my deck, and it will help me to trash the remaining of the cards I don't want. Okay, so there go the curses. I'll play the Harbinger. Don't want to top deck the curses. And let's play the poacher. Discard and discard. Play the witch. So unfortunately, I won't really be able to use this Tronum, so let's discard it. Don't top deck anything. Okay, that's nice cards to leave on top. And I don't really need to Tron the militia. I could have just played it once. Not a big deal though. So now I can buy another laboratory. So the thing is, I've trashed most of my curses and most of my coppers. I mean, I think I have some estates still, and some curses, but it's fine. Let's draw a sentry. Can discard this Moat. Unfortunately, did not trash anything. Let's top deck the Charm so I can Tron my laboratory. Actually, I want to top deck that. And I can discard curse. And I can trash it. Let's leave the witch on top. Don't need to Tron the militia, because I'm going to be buying a laboratory. Okay. And yes, another lab please. That's a bit unfortunate because I can't draw this turn, so I'll just Tron my militia, and I think I'll buy another poacher. Poachers will stop being good when 2 piles are going to be depleted, which potentially will happen with laboratories. But they're still pretty good for trashing to help in the sentries, so it's worth it to have one more. Okay, not the greatest turn for my opponent, looks like. I'll try to maybe not play in the sentries yet. And play them after the poachers. Okay. Doesn't matter. Okay, can trash an estate. And can trash the curse. Okay, nice. So here I only have one junk card in my deck left, and at this point I should buy gold, because we are moving into getting more points territory. You can use vassals here for economy too, with the sentries. So my opponent buys a silver that he's less trashed than I am. He still has 4 curses in his deck and 2 estates. But silver is not a good pick at this stage of the game. doesn't matter. Okay, so I would prefer to play my sentry to trash this curse, and I think I can do it. Yeah, right. Don't want this Moat on top. So now I can actually just go and start green, because I have no junk in my deck. All the rest of the bad cards like estates and curses are in his deck. You can potentially keep building a bit more, but since there is no plus gains on this board, it doesn't really do much, because my deck is quite reliable at this stage. I can make it even better, but it's then my opponent can catch up with me, and I don't want this to happen. So should start going for provinces. If he's going to have a nice turn now, well, he's having one right now, and he's going to buy a province too, that will most likely lead to a situation when he would stall. So his stop cards will prevent him from drawing, and well, most likely I will not have such situation. And also the big difference is, well, is that I'm attacking him every turn with my militia. I'll try to discard those two and discard. So the point of discarding those cards was that I can top deck the lap. So next turn I'm guaranteed a laboratory in my starting hand, which is really good. So I'm not going to continue playing any actions. I'll just play my treasures, which is enough to buy a province. That's why that's the one of the parts why Harbingers are good. It's not very strong cards on its own, but it can be used to get more benefit of your strong cards. Potentially, if my opponent gets a militia, I might want to use my Harbinger to top deck the Moat. So that's what happened with my opponent's deck right now, is what I was talking about. His deck is not consistent enough to go for green. Okay, let's discard that. Let's just throw on another laboratory. Let's try to okay, never mind. Discard that. Harbinger, yeah, I won't be able to set up stuff this time, but it's fine, not a big deal. Could have maybe top decked the witch, but I'm not sure if it's a good thing. Okay, that's a good start in hand anyway. So what was the mistakes of my opponent here? Well, opening with Vessel, which he did, is not a good idea most of the time, because well, you want vessels when you okay, let's discard the Moat, don't need it. You want vessels when you can reliably play, when you know you can reliably take the benefit it offers. So not in this case, basically. Let's try to set up the next turn by putting the lab on top, so I'll need to discard it for that. Let's draw. Okay, discard that, and we can put the laboratory on top, and don't need to draw on the militia. And let's buy another prawns. Also, skipping the militia on this board is a really bad idea, because militia is a pretty strong attack throughout the whole game. Also, mine. It looks like, well, silver is way better than copper and gold is way better than silver, and that's true. But the truth is, all of those cards are not actually really good. I mean, you want on a board like that, you want to have a gold to help you to get to provinces. But at the early stages of the game, you want as less stop cards in your deck as entirely possible, because you want to disperse curses and you want to trash down. So these golds, or especially cards like mine, they will only prevent you in achieving your main goals. So that's why they're bad. And actually mine is, while golds are actually pretty useful in a lot of situations, mine is rarely a good card. Don't top deck those bronzes. Let's draw on the sentry. Discard this. Top deck that. Let's discard the silver, and we'll have the lab on top. So don't need to draw on that, right? So mine is too slow. Mine is good in some situations, but those are the exceptions. Usually just don't go for it. That's the rule, which is sometimes should be broken, but okay, that's a GG. Thanks for watching.